And everybody is so worried about the elite, and we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. We know about Michelle Obama, that's a man. We know about Too Short. We know about Akon and Steven Tyler, and we can give those names all day. And everybody is so worried about that, but what you should be worried about is the people that are in between.
So the names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes.
These people participated in sex abuse firsthand with you.
Yes.
Can you tell that story? Because that's important for people to understand and to know. And to this point, I don't think a national platform has given you the opportunity to say those things.
She said this on national television.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
I'm really trying my hardest not to get a strike, not to get banned, not to get my videos deleted here on YouTube, because I know they have community guidelines that I'll admit I don't 100% know all of the rules for. But I'd like to think that a video like this one is tiptoeing the lines. So I want to make sure that I say that everything in this video is alleged and these claims are not from me directly. I don't necessarily co-sign everything that you're about to hear in this video, but I do have a question for you all. What's the difference, or where's the line that's drawn between a conspiracy theory and just something that's true that people just struggle to believe is true? That's just too hard to believe could be true. What's the line? Like what separates those two? Evidence? What's the definition of evidence? What proves or makes something evidence? Video? Do you have to see it on video? Audio recording, text messages, pictures, or what do you have to see in order to make it proof? Because if somebody says it who claims to have been there, you all don't believe them, even though we're living in a time now where you all claim to believe all victims. In a time when we have AI, do we even really know what's real and what's not, and what to believe and what not to believe? You know what I mean? Like, how do we go from nothing to all of a sudden every Diddy video, every channel's dropping videos on Diddy, and all of them are blowing up? And before, you couldn't even find it in the algorithm. It's just weird what they choose to promote and what they don't. So that right there is already suspicious to me. But my last video, or my couple last videos, I talked about Justin Bieber and his ties to Diddy, and I also talked about this young lady by the name of Allie, who claims to have been trafficked and a victim at one of Diddy's parties, or at least one of his parties. Actually, I believe she claims to have been at several. Well, she has now went on a national platform and said a lot of crazy things. But before we tap into the video, listen, if you are new to the show, please know we are thirsty to grow and to drink some of this water. You can help us out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a sec to do that to help me out. Don't worry, just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when these types of videos come out. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Let's get into it.
Industry sources warned for years that Diddy's parties were one of the global elite's playgrounds, where they could satisfy their worst impulses with trafficked minors and coerced child stars. The elite are scrambling to cover up the evidence, and only one thing is for certain. Given the extreme nature of the dirt Diddy has on his VIP friends, there is no way he'll make it to trial. Diddy was operating the Hollywood version of Jeffrey Epstein's brazen VIP pedophile blackmail operation, ensnaring figures including Barack and Michelle Obama, including producers, power agents, and international financiers. Bieber described the sexual abuse of young children who'd been brought to the party for the sexual gratification of the industry elite. The media acted like vicious attack dogs when the story broke, making sure it was censored from social media and memory hold on search engines. And now we understand why. These parties were attended by VIP elites, including Barack and Michelle Obama, according to one of Diddy's sex slaves, who has blown the whistle on their degrading behavior behind closed doors. Michelle is actually a man, according to the whistleblower, and she raped Justin Bieber and other minors on at least 2 occasions, including once on camera.
I was 15 when I was drawn into his orbit. I was picked up on the street by one of his fixers. He promised to make me a star because he said I had the right look to be artist. But instead, I became his prisoner, a slave in a world where his rich and powerful friends indulged in the kind of things most people cannot even imagine. At first, it was kind of, fun. I was introduced to big names in the industry, got invited to exclusive parties, and took selfies with famous pop stars. But as I got closer to Diddy, things began to shift. The parties I attended weren't just about having fun. They were private gatherings where the rules of the outside world didn't apply. The rules were that you had to break the rules. Young people like me, models, aspiring artists, and actors were brought in, told we were special and chosen, but we were just pieces of meat. I met Justin when he was still a 15-year-old kid, around the time he was hanging out with Diddy and Usher. I think I was drawn to him because of how overwhelmed he seemed, almost more shocked by what was happening around us than I was. He wasn't like the others. He still had this innocence, and I could see he was trying to make sense of it all, just like I was. But I think it was his innocence that attracted the pervs too. He was their favorite. Everybody had to have a piece of Bieber. He used to kind of like just zone the out. My therapist says it's a form of disassociation. Some people do it when they are deeply traumatized. After a party, Justin would claim he couldn't remember anything, even when there were super famous people at the party like the Obamas, and they had both been intimately involved with him. You've got to understand what these parties were all about. They were sex parties, no holds barred. But it wasn't just consenting adults getting freaky. These were freak-off parties. The more deranged, the better. I'm talking stuff with kids and animals, violence, degradation.
The entertainment elite are in panic mode, as their links to the globalist elite and VIP parties is blown wide open. Industry insiders are warning against underestimating how deep the rabbit hole goes. The entire industry is rotten to the core, and household names are set to be thrown under the bus of public outrage as damaging leaks continue emerging. The Obamas are at the center of investigations as the truth about Michelle's real identity continues to be exposed.
And everybody is so worried about the elite, and we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. We know about Michelle Obama, that's a man. We know about Too Short. We know about Akon and Steven Tyler, and we can give those names all day. And everybody is so worried about that. But what you should be worried about is the people that are in between.
So the names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal sexual experiences with these people?
Yes.
These people participated in sex abuse firsthand with you.
Yes.
Can you tell that story? Because that's important for people to understand and to know. And to this point, I don't think a national platform has given you the opportunity to say those things.
No, because everybody is complicit. Everybody is complicit. It's covered up by your local FBI. It is covered up by your local police department. It is underground tunnels. There's a whole world.
Now look, I'll be the first to say, I don't know what to believe with this one. I do believe her in the last video 100% that she has experienced these things. It's just something about, she seems authentic to me. And I'll be honest, in this video, she seems authentic. And it's not that I'm rooting for the Obamas. It's not that it's not like I know them, or I think I know them, or I feel like I know that they wouldn't do this. It's not any of that. I have been exposing these sorts of things and my beliefs about these sorts of things for at least 3.5 years now in this podcast. So I've been doing it for a while, but this is one of the ones, man, it's like saying that somebody is secretly a man, and, you know, and for my protection, I'm not even going to say these people's names. Like, this is I've been using the word groundbreaking, and I feel like it's losing its umph. I feel like it's losing its meaning because I've used it so many times over the past 2 weeks. But tell me with a straight face, this is not groundbreaking. Do you all believe this woman? Have you seen this interview? Are you familiar with who she is? I just don't even know what to think anymore, bro. Like, this is mind-blowing to me, for real, for real. Like, at some point, I feel like, yes, we should see something that makes it a little bit more credible and a little bit more believable. But why would this person, other than you all just saying she's crazy and, you know, she's not all there? Listen, I get it. But why is she being invited? I would like to think some of these people are doing their background, doing their due diligence before inviting somebody like that on their platform. But they're doing it. And she's consistent. And she doesn't seem like spaced out of her mind. And she seems sharp to me, man. She like, and if you notice, if it was really about clickbait or her getting clout or her just being crazy, she would only focus on the celebrities. But if you notice, she always says, you all are focused on the big names when you really should be focused on the people that's in between. That's extremely important. In the last video I dropped on her, and you can find that video here on one of these sides, she says what? You all are focused on these names when we gonna talk about the kids. It wasn't just adults at these parties. When we gonna talk about the kids?
We've tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual orgies.
That Justin Bieber quote, is that quote real? I don't know. Just because somebody printed it don't make it true. Don't mean that it actually happened. But it's just so crazy all this stuff is coming out now, man. Hop in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think. Until next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.